Hello and welcome to the October 2018 edition of From the Desk of. My name is Tim Moody. I'm the Public Information Officer with the Randolph County School System. I'm here with our Superintendent, Dr. Stephen Gainey. Each month we enjoy the opportunity to come before you and share with you the wonderful things that are going on in our school system and our schools, with our teachers and our students. Dr. Gainey, we are coming to our audience today from New Market Elementary School. Venture out to a different school each month, give you the opportunity to talk about this fine school.
Well, this is a great school, Tim. Has a great history of great performance. Kids do well in this school, and when they move to the middle school and high school levels through New Market Elementary, great community. Kim Bowie is the principal. She came to be the principal here in January of 2018 after 4.5 very successful years at Trinity Elementary School, and so this is Kim Bowie's 6th year with us as a principal, and very proud of her and very proud of this school's past and history and where we're going to go in the future, because I know Kim will do a great job of leading the staff and the students, and she has a great staff here. The classrooms are full of great teachers at this school and just a great support staff members. So looking forward to seeing what happens in the future days of this school.
Well, Dr. Gainey, it's not uncommon in these monthly interviews to talk about the weather. It seems like that surfaces every once in a while, but what is uncommon is that we would talk about it this early in the school year. Last month we talked about the impact of Hurricane Florence on our state. We've had another storm since then that's impacted the school calendar, so I know there's a lot of detail with the changes. Give you a chance to address that.
Well, Tim, here we are, we're in October, and we have not dealt with the type of weather we've already dealt with twice now. We've had 2 hurricanes, one in September and then one in October, and so our calendar has been built with 5 days we could absorb for weather and not make up. Well, we've already used all 5 of those days. So the Board of Education, in the meeting on October 15th, was just Monday night, made some changes to our calendar, and the changes are 4 big changes. To begin with, October 31 is no longer a 2-hour early release day. It is now a full school day. November 21st is no longer a non-school day. It has now become a school day, and it's a 2-hour early release day. Then when you get into December, the original calendar had us getting out on a 2-hour early release on December 20 for the winter break in December. Now that is a full school day, and now December 21, which was not a school day, has now become, that's the Friday, it's become a school day, but it's a 2-hour early release. And these changes were needed. To begin with, our school calendar is based on hours. There's a state calendar law, and we choose the option of having a calendar based on 1,025 hours of instruction. And we've used these 5 days we could absorb, and we're very concerned. The board was concerned about the loss of instruction and also the fact that we had not even reached the winter weather yet. We've had some tough winters the last 5 winters. And so they were concerned we had no days left to absorb if we hit bad winter weather. So this action was taken to get the kids back in the classroom and have some additional instructional time to catch them up, because missing 5 days of school is tough on instruction. And one other thing that happened was this last hurricane, we missed school on Thursday and Friday, October 11 and 12. We were able to get 30 of the 31 schools back in session on October 15th, but we could not get Southmont back in because we could not get the power back up because of something that happened in the building with a breaker. So we did get them back on October 16 on Tuesday, but because of missing that day, Southmont will go for 10 extra minutes a day from October 29 until December 21 to make up the school day that was missed on the 15th. So they'll be back even with everybody else. So been a lot of work on the school calendar, and over the last few days we've worked hard to try to make sure parents knew what the changes were and staff members knew what the changes were, and the students, of course. But the big thing was we missed a lot of instructional time, and the board felt strongly we needed to add some time to catch the students back up on instruction, and also they wanted to be prepared for the winter weather. And so we had some days still there. If we hit bad winter weather, we can absorb some days, you know, because when you get into the spring, you can go a long way, and you have spring break, and that's always a time that everybody looks forward to, and the board has been very protective over spring break as much as they possibly could be in past years, and they wanted to put us in that position as well. that we were doing everything we could to protect spring break in the case of winter weather. So really proud of the work of our board, because these are hard decisions, and I'm proud of what the work they've done. I understand that it's a change for students, for staff and parents, and I understand it's a tough situation because now their schedules are changing with these changes to the calendar. But we're going to work with everybody, and we'll make it through this time. And the big thing is we're getting some instructional time back in the calendar to help work on the students' academic needs.
And I want to let our community members know that our calendar has been updated on our website. And if you go to our district website and you click on the calendars banner at the top of the homepage, you'll see an updated calendar. So again, great work by our board, and be looking for that revised calendar. You talked about the Board of Education meeting on Monday evening. And of course, we have our awards and recognition, and this past Monday night we recognized our Principal of the Year, Eric Johnson from Wheatmore High School, and give you a chance to talk about him.
Well, Eric, he's been at Wheatmore High School since he started. Well, I'll take this back. I want to say he's been there since 2011, but Eric's been there longer than that. Eric has been the principal there since 2011. Prior to that, he was both the interim principal and assistant principal at that school, different windows of time. So he actually, my memory says that he got to Wheatmore High School in 2009. But Eric's done a great job. The school continues to get better, and very proud of Eric. Great to see him recognized. He's worked very hard to continue to learn his school and continue to improve as a principal. So very excited for him. It's great to see, always great to see staff members recognized for accomplishments. So I want to say congratulations to him, and job well done. Wheatmore High School continues to get better, and I'm looking for great things in the future as well.
So we have moved from the Media Center to the Computer Lab here on the new Market Elementary campus. And Dr. Gainey, want to give you an opportunity to talk about some administrative appointments. We've had some changes, and give you a chance to update those.
Well, Tim, since the start of the school year, we have had 2 principal positions change as far as the individuals in those positions. Penny Baber, as we mentioned earlier in an earlier video, was named to be the next principal of Randolph Elementary School back in late summer, but she stayed at Southmont Elementary School until we found her replacement. We did find her replacement, and we have hired Ann Carol Grant to be the new principal at Southmont Elementary School. And Ms. Grant has been a school leader for many years now. In her prior part of her career, she was at South Asheboro Middle School and Asheboro City Schools. She's led several schools and just brings in a lot of experience as a school leader. So excited for her to be the next principal of Southmont Elementary School. She started on October 1, and that allowed Penny to move to Randolph Elementary School to start on October 1. I also want to take a moment and say thank you to Wanda Anders. Wanda Anders retired from our school system several years ago, and since that time has done several interim assistant principal jobs and interim principal jobs for us. She always does a great job, and she started the year as the interim principal at Randolph Elementary School for us. And I just want to say a big thank you to Wanda Anders, because she continues to help our school system. So in addition to the principal changes, just at the last board meeting on October 15, we had some central service changes, and want to start by saying thank you to Nan York, Director of Media and Technology. She's retiring at the end of December. Her actual last day is January 1, and want to say thank you for her great work for many years for our school system. Also, another retirement I want to say thank you to, someone who's retiring I want to say thank you to, is Kim Johnson, Director of High Schools. She is also retiring at the end of December. Her last day is January 1. So with those 2 retirements, we had 2 administrative appointments the other night. To replace Nan, we appointed Sheena Creech. Sheena has worked under Nan for several years now, and Sheena is very talented and very excited about this opportunity, and we're excited for her. We want to see what she does with that department moving forward. I'm very confident she will do a great job, and she will carry us forward for many years. And same token, now that Kim is retiring, we had to name a replacement for her, and we named Kathy Waddell. Kathy has been doing some part-time work for us since her retirement. She retired several years back as the principal of the early college. She was the first principal of the early college, did a great job there. She's continued to work on a part-time basis with us in several roles, helping principals, coaching principals, and so excited for her to come back into this role. She's going to be the director of high schools, and just excited for her to bring her experience to that role, because Kathy and Sheena are stars. Just like we are losing 2 stars in Nan and Kim Johnson, we are gaining 2 stars in their positions as well. So very excited about the future of our school system with regard to these 2 positions. But I also don't want to end my comments without making sure we give a great thank you to the great work Nan has done. You got to remember, Nan has helped move us through as we've continued to expand technology-wise and media services and all. And then when you look back at what's happened under Kim's time as leader of high schools, our high schools have just continued to get better all along. So I want to say a big thank you to them for their great work for our school system, because we're better because they were with us in those roles for all these years.
So something that we have not talked about is something that happened back in September. On September 5th, the state released school performance data, and I want to give you a chance to update the community on that.
Well, Tim, when you look at school performance data, you can look at it in many different ways. I first want to say thank you to our students, our teachers, our support staff, and our principals, because when you look at the data, I believe we're clearly getting better as a school system. We have a lot of schools moving in a positive direction. And so I just want to say a big thank you for their work, and also want to thank you to the parents for their support, because we need their support if our schools are going to keep getting better. You know, you can look at a lot of different things in the data. You can look at the number of schools that were A's, number that were B's, C's and D's. They have grades. We didn't have any schools that had a grade of an F. So you can see a lot of improvement there. But when I look at the schools, I think about growth. And 25 of our 31 schools met or exceeded growth last year. That makes me feel really well, because that's telling me we're taking students from where they are and moving them forward. And we've continued to focus on school growth, and over the years we've increased the number of schools that reached expected or met growth. Ironically, we had 25 in 17-18 and 16-17 it's 25, but the previous years it was less than that. So we're getting better there. But when I look at our data, there's two real statistics that stand out to me. In the 12-13 school year, 26 schools had a composite, which is the percentage of kids at or above grade level. They had a composite less than 50, and 2 schools had a composite of 60 or greater. By 17-18, what we had then was we only have 4 that were less than 50, and now we have 16 that are 60 or greater. And that, to me, is a big statistic there for our school system, and shows a swing of our schools moving forward. Another stat that stands out to me is that when you look back at 12-13, since 12-13 to 17-18, 27 out of 31 schools have moved that composite forward by more than 10 points. And of those 27, 7 of them, their movement forward has been more than 20 points. So I'm very excited about what's happening in our schools, very excited about the work by our principals, our teachers. Don't forget our students. Sometimes we talk about school performance data and we forget that the students are working hard at this, but support staff, they do a lot of different things, provide extra intervention for children, and then again, like I said, the parents can't be forgotten either, because they help us. They get the kids to school, the kids are ready for school when they get there every day. We're lucky throughout this county. We have a great parent group that's been very supportive of our school system. And so, there's always room for improvement. We want to get better. What we've focused on, and I've worked really hard to push this idea with our principals and our central service leaders, our assistant principals and teachers, is this one statement that's been on a lot of things for the last three plus years now, is move the needle forward and minimize any backward movement. So you can't always, you're going to try to get better, and we need to be celebrating any movement forward. And if we have backward movement, we need to try to minimize that and keep that contained, so we can look to the next days of moving forward. So very excited about what's going on in our schools, and I'm very excited about the focus the schools are taking on moving kids forward from where they are, and that is showing up in the results of the number of schools meeting or exceeding the growth measure that the state's established.
So Dr. Gainey, a couple of days ago we were made aware of a couple of students at Whitmore High School, some choral students who are going to be participating in the North Carolina High School Honors Chorus, which is the highest level choral event in the state. It's seniors Lindsay Ray and Ty Thrift. What a great honor for these students.
It is, and that's what public school's about. Children go to class every day, and there's one part of public schools that everybody knows happens every day, which is the classroom instruction. But what often is missed is, you know, the performances in the performing arts, the visual arts. You know, a lot of times people see the athletic piece, sometimes they don't. The student leadership opportunities children have. But, you know, I think back when I was a high school principal, and even a middle school principal, but maybe more so as a high school principal, I used to watch these groups perform and just wonder, who in this group is the next star, you know, in this area? And you knew there was somebody in those groups. And so very, very great honor for these two children. And I want to say a big thank you to Miss Downey, Sarah Downey, the chorus teacher at Wheatmore High School. She does a wonderful job. When you see her students with her, you know they love her program. And you see this camaraderie between her and the students, and she obviously, when you watch her with her kids, she has standards, she has high expectations. I've been to many of her concerts in the last 5+ years, and just excited to know that she's in a classroom with children and helping develop their talents, because there are some very talented kids in our schools throughout this school system, and to see them recognized like this is just tremendous. And again, want to congratulate the two students, but I also want to congratulate Ms. Downey, because it's exciting to see what she does with those children all the time in that school. And we have, you know, Tim, I would say, you know, we're talking about Wheatmore, but you can go to any of our high schools and see very successful choral programs and performing arts programs, and then you go down to the middle schools and you see the same thing. So I want to say a big thank you to all those teachers, and congratulations to Ms. Downey and to her students.
Well, Dr. Gainey, I know that you're in and out of schools all the time, certainly, and in and out of classrooms. So there's any number of classroom activities that we could talk about. But I do know that you attended one at URI Ridge 612 last week, and I know you enjoyed that, as did I, so I want to give you a chance to talk about that.
Well, I went to Miss Fuller's class, 7th grade class, and they were doing what they called a giant cell project, and every child had a part of the cell, and they were, the best way I can describe it, Tim, is there was a big cell structure, and as they were explaining their part, they were taking their spot inside the cell. Now, Ms. Fuller may tell you I'm not describing it completely accurately, but that's what I was watching. But what was neat was watching the children take ownership of their part of the lesson, and she is a wonderful teacher. And for someone who hadn't seen her in a classroom, she is wonderful. And it was a very hands-on project, high student engagement, and that's just one of many great examples of what's going on in classrooms across the Randolph County school system. So I want to say thank you to Ms. Fuller and her students for taking advantage of the opportunity for a different learning experience. But I also want to say thank you to her, because, you know, there's such creativity teachers bring to the classroom every day that oftentimes doesn't get seen outside the schools. But, you know, just sitting there watching, it's like, wow, what an idea. And every child had ownership for that lesson. And there were parents there watching the, I guess you would call it a little bit of a performance, but there was a real academic piece to that performance. And I just want to say thank you to her for using her creativity and that highly engaged experience for those kids.
So as we close out our interview for today, I want to give you a chance just to talk about anything else, any other highlights or things going on in the school district that you want to accentuate.
Well, you know, we talked earlier about the two major weather events, and what's been interesting to me after each event, the children have come right back in, the teachers have come right back in routine, and I think it kind of points back to that first day of school. The first day of school may have been the smoothest first day of school I've been a part of in 26 years. And so I just think it's a big credit to the teachers and the principals and parents and students, because they know when they're here that we've got serious work to do. They've come back from these two weather events knowing that we had some catch up to do, and just very proud of them and proud of the way they've dealt with these weather events, because, you know, I get it. When the weather happens, it disrupts everybody's schedules, but I want to say a big thank you to the parents, because they're very patient and with us, and the staff's very patient, and want to continue to stress that our #1 priority is the safety of students, staff, and we can't forget those parents who are driving kids to school every day. So when the weather comes up like these two hurricanes have, that's our priority. And we're not going to do anything to take chances and risk safety for any of those groups. So just want to say thank you to the communities, all the communities throughout the county who helped us through these two events. And hopefully we'll pass this weather, and we'll have a good run all the way to the winter break, and see what the winter brings us. Hopefully we'll have a calm winter and won't deal with any more weather. Hopefully we've had all the weather we're going to deal with this year. But big thank you to the communities for their help and their flexibility as we've worked through these weather events.
Well, Dr. Gainey, thank you. Thank you to Principal Kim Moody and her great staff here at New Market Elementary School for allowing us to be here. We thank Randolph Communications and you, the community members, for allowing us to share these highlights with you. We will see you in November.